to another video, and today is that time of the month again, that time where I talk about my faves and hates for the previous month. So, for anyone that is new here, faves and hates is basically where I talk about like some things that I really enjoyed for the previous month, and some things that I didn't really enjoy. So yeah, I have like 3 things of each category, so without further ado, let's get started. So I have them written down right here in the notebook. So the first one that I have is The Real Housewives. So you guys know, like when I did a video, I think it was for my it was my OMG Mondays video. I did like a look that I saw from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because I actually started watching The Real Housewives not too long ago, and I wanted to start off with Salt Lake City because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about Salt Lake City, and I wanted to watch it because I was like, I've never watched The Real Housewives. I've always seen people talk about it, how iconic of a TV show it is. I'm like, I really want to watch it. So I'm currently watching Salt Lake City and Potomac. Those are like my first like seasons that I'm watching, and like I'm kind of going back and forth for like I'm watching episodes of Salt Lake City and then watching an episode of Potomac because I've never watched it, and like I want to give some like recommendations like for anyone that like loves the Housewives. Are there some like other seasons, other like Real Housewives shows that I should watch? Like I'm already watching Salt Lake City and Potomac, which are like pretty iconic seasons. So on iconic like shows. So I want to know, like, is there any other like Real Housewives franchises that I should be watching? Because like I really want to get into the show and I really like it. I really like it so far. I think I'm liking it. I finished season 4 of Salt Lake City because that was the season the podcast I was listening to was talking about, because they were talking about the reunion, and I watched all of season 4, but now I'm starting all the way from the beginning at season 1 of Salt Lake City, and I really like Salt Lake City. I'm like starting out, I'm on like episode 2 of Potomac, and I feel like I like Salt Lake City more than Potomac because I don't think I really I like the fights in Salt Lake City more than Potomac, but maybe I'll like it more as I'm going along, because I'm just starting Potomac, so maybe I'll like it more. And I think my favorite from each category, each season so far, I think I like from Salt Lake City, I liked Angie, and surprisingly I actually liked Monica. I liked Monica even though like the whole like things that happened in season 4, but like starting from season 1, I think I do like Lisa, but I think a lot of the ladies I'm not really the biggest fan of. Like I think Mary is probably my favorite from like the original season 1 cast. I really do like Mary, but Salt Lake City has a lot of ties to religion, and I'm not a religious person, so it gets kind of annoying. But I do also like Jen Shaw, even though like if you're a Real Housewives fan, you know what happened to Jen Shaw, but I do like Jen Shaw so far. So like I think I'm liking like Mary and Jen Shaw so far. And for Potomac, I like Ashley, I think that's her name, Ashley, the lady with the big hair. I do really like it. I think Ashley and Giselle are like my favorites so far. So yeah. So that is the first faves. It's Real Housewives. I'm really liking the show, and I'm super excited to watch more of it. Alright, now time for my first hates, and I think I want to talk about self-checkout haters. So for anyone that doesn't know, I work at a Kohl's that has a self-checkout, and this is a very new thing for all, like especially retail stores, because self-checkout is mainly like always at like a grocery store, like you know, like Target and like Ralph's and like a bunch of different grocery stores have a self-checkout section. But you've never really ever seen a retail store like Kohl's. I think I know Zara, I think, has a self-checkout section. But yeah, I am basically like a big like one of the biggest people that work there. Like, not really. I'm like one of the main like self-checkout people because I got there when they opened self-checkout, and it was just like, I'm not really the biggest fan of working self-checkout. Like, I love self-checkout. Like, I love it because I don't really have to talk to people, and I'm really enjoying it, like, as a concept at Kohl's. But I got like word from my managers that like unless we get enough people to go to self-checkout, they're going to be cutting hours from self-checkout, and they're probably going to, if it gets really bad, they're going to get rid of it entirely. And yeah, now I'm like really into, like, I have to really like get into like getting people into self-checkout, but the amount of people that I get that are like, oh, I don't like self-checkout, oh, it's like, it's making people lose their jobs and all that. It's like, what happened to like all the like, what happened to like 5 people at like each checkout station? Because like at the Kohl's that I am, we had 2 areas of registers. We had like 3 to 5 people at each section. And everyone complains, we're like, oh, this Kohl's is going downhill. It's not like it used to be. There's only like 1 checkout person, and now you have self-checkout and blah, 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 blah. It just gets so annoying hearing the whole song and dance. Like, oh, I don't want you guys to lose your job. I don't want you guys to like, why can't you just open another checkout station instead of having self-checkout and all that? And I'm just like, or like, you can just go to checkout. Why do you have to be at self-checkout? It's just like, well, I work here, and I wouldn't be working here if they didn't have self-checkout and all that stuff. I'm just like, it's just so annoying having to literally hear the like blabbering of these self-checkout haters all the time. It gets so annoying, and I hate it so much. But like, so I do really love self-checkout, but I just hate dealing with like these, like, it's a lot of old people that like always hate self-checkout, and I'm like, well, I can help you, and they're like, no, we don't do self-checkout, no, we don't do this, blah 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 blah. It's so annoying. So yeah, that is my first hate sense. So next one that I have is a video game. It is called The Class of '09. So this game is very explicit. Well, not really explicit in its imagery, but it has a lot of bad words and a lot of like very more explicit talk. It's not for the young or the more conservative people. But yeah, so it's a Class of '09. It's basically kind of like a parody on a dating simulator, where it's like, it's called the Rejection Simulator. It simulates a high school during 2009, and it's super funny. It has like this like more anime art style with the characters, but it has like the backgrounds are like more superimposed like photos, and I'm just like, I do really enjoy it. I think it's really funny, and I played through the first game. I got all the endings, and I haven't played like the second like enhanced version of the game, and I do really enjoy it. It's super fun because I'm like trying to go through my entire catalog of games that I have not finished playing yet, that I really need to finish. But yeah, so I do really enjoy that game. It's like, this one's a pretty short one, but like, I do really like the game. It's super fun, and for anyone that like really likes more funny parody style games, I would really suggest buying The Class of '09. It's really cheap on Steam, and it's a lot of fun if you like more story-based games with a bunch of endings. So yeah, so I suggest buying The Class of '09 and The Class of '09 re-up. Alright, so now time for my second hate sense, and that is how long January felt. So I felt like January lasted about half a year. Like, I remember this, I think it's just because so much happened in January. Like, I remember starting January like really sick with like a really bad cold, that didn't go away for a while, and then like I was working a lot. I was super tired. So many things happened, and I'm just like, it's barely the 1st of February. And I'm just like, why did this month felt like 8 years? It was so long. It was so boring. And I'm starting this month off sick again too, because I have like a really bad earache. So if you guys hear me like talking weird, like this ear right here is like super muffled, and it's making me like sound weird in my head, and it's just so weird. But yeah, let's hope that February does not go like January, where it feels like a long time. But yeah, so time for my last favorites for the month, and that is the Trixie Cosmetics eyeliners. So I know these were a much more recent item into my collection. So if you guys didn't watch my talking about new makeup releases video, I showed you guys that I got the new Trixie Mattel gel eyeliners, and these are amazing. I'm wearing the black one right now, and it's super good, and I'm planning on doing a wear test throughout the day. So it's like pretty early in the morning, and I'm planning on doing a wear test for like how good is it like throughout the entire day. And yeah, I do really enjoy these eyeliners. I was so excited when they announced these, and I was so determined to buy them, and I bought them, and I love them so much. They're super pigmented and super beautiful, and I love them. I love them so much. And Trixie has been like alluding to this for years. Like, oh, we're coming out with our own gel eyeliners. Like, oh, it's gonna be like whenever I make a black gel eyeliner, it's gonna be the best in the game, and it really is. I do love it so much. And yeah, so that is my final favorites for the month of January, and now to for my final hates, and I would say that is trip planning. So I am planning a lot of solo trips, and one like I did have one like group trip with a friend, but I don't know if I really want to do that anymore. So I have a trip that I'm going down back to where I went to college to go see some friends, and I was planning on going in March, but my friend is super busy with school and stuff and working, and that she has no time to spend like to hang out. So I had to move it to June, and I haven't started even planning for when I go to DragCon in July. And I have a friend, my bestest friend, I love her to death, but she wants us to do a fully public transportation trip to San Francisco. And it's just like, it's so annoying because I have to figure out all the like public transportation. I have to figure out like all the times and stuff. And I love her so much, but she does not really understand how public transportation works, or like how things work. Like, she wanted to stay till 10 o'clock at night when like we have to take a bus, and that bus doesn't leave. Like, one of the last bus leaves at like 10 something, and I'm like, well, no, we can't stay that long, and especially since San Francisco is not the greatest place to be at nighttime in some areas. And I'm just like, sorry, I just was like, we can't do that, we have to stay close. And she wants to do like all these like fun museum things, and I'm like, we can't really do that right now, we have to stick to what we want to do first. And I'm like thinking back on it now, I've gotten into so many like, not really arguments, but just like trying to talk to her about it. I'm just like, I don't think I really want to go anymore, because I'm just like, I don't want to go, especially during 2024. I don't want to do things. I want to learn how to say no more, and I want to be able to be like, no, this is gonna be way too stressful and I don't want to deal with it. So like, I'm probably not even gonna go on that San Francisco trip. I'm already planning it. I want to do a San Francisco trip for myself, for my birthday with my family, but I don't know. So yeah, so that, and it's just like super annoying having to like figure out all the travel, and she thinks everything can just go the way it is, and I'm just like, no, we can't really go with the flow. We have to like really like stick to the schedule, things like that. I think like me and her are like really different like that. Like she thinks we should just do whatever and it won't work out, but I'm like, no, dealing with public transportation is extremely like time consuming, and it's very like one mistake and we could like be stranded and not be able to come back home. But yeah, so that is the final hits for the month of January. How was your guys' January? I think mine was alright. It was a perfectly fine way to start the year. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I finally got my makeup Instagram all settled, and I'm really happy about it. And I'm super excited to see how February turns out. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow both my Instagrams down doobly-doo. And without further ado, hope you guys have a nice and safe day.